Hey y'all, Melissa here with you today, and today I'm going to be sharing my top 5 tips for sewing velvet. Velvet is a fabric that I love for formal wear in cooler months because it's warmer than fabric like silk that I might choose for a summer formal dress. So why is velvet warmer? It is a heavier fabric and it has a pile on it. And how exactly is this made? So if you can imagine two fabrics, like you've got threads on this end, threads on this end on a loom, and one thread, the sideways thread, is getting woven in between. So it's going through on this side, and then it's going through on this side and back to the other as it goes in and out. Then something cuts all of those threads in the middle, and you now have 2 sheets of velvet. So that cut edge is the pile here. Velvet can be made of lots of different fibers. So cotton velvet is actually usually called velveteen. And then we have silk velvet, was the original expensive velvet made from silk fibers. And then we have what's shown here in front of me and on my samples behind me, which is velvet made from polyester. And because this polyester was knitted instead of woven, this velvet also stretches. This is the most commonly found velvet in stores right now. Another variation of this kind of velvet is right here. This is crushed velvet. So it is stretch as well, and you can see this kind of pattern on it. That has to do with parts of the pile being pressed down or crushed, and it creates that texture on it as well. So how do you handle and sew velvet? Well, my first tip is going to be, don't cut your pattern out like this. As you can see on the table, there are places where the velvet has stuck to itself on the other side, and there are other places where I can't smooth it out, and if I try, it sticks the velvet pile back together. You don't want to do it this way either, because the back side of velvet is also very slippery, and so this is very easy for it to slip off grain. So if you are making something out of velvet, you're going to have to cut it in a single layer. So, for example, if you had, this is the back bodice piece for this dress hanging behind me here, you would cut it out one way, and then you would flip it over and cut it out the other way. If you have a piece that is meant to be cut on the fold, like this skirt piece in the front, what I had to do was take that pattern piece and then flip it and trace it out so that I had a full width pattern piece to lay out single layer on my fabric to cut. So that is tip number 1, cut your patterns out of your velvet in a single layer. The next tip for working with velvet is to be aware of the nap. Nap means fabric that can only be used in one direction. So with velvet, it has a pile on it, and if you brush the pile or you look at it from different directions, from one direction it's going to look darker than the other. So when you're cutting out your pattern, you need to make sure that the top parts of your pattern are always on the same side. So if I'm cutting out a back bodice, I would want to make sure that the front bodice also has the shoulder up here. I wouldn't want to place the front bodice like this, for example, because it would then show the wrong nap. And that's very evident where velvet is sewn together. So let me show you an example of where I made a mistake. You can see on this dress, see how the skirt appears lighter than the bodice? And it's because I was working with rectangles for this skirt and then like gathering them, and this one got put in upside down. So I decided to go with it because I didn't have enough fabric to recut, and I made the whole skirt the opposite direction from the way I had cut the bodice and the sleeves. Now, you wouldn't have to make this a design choice if you were paying attention to begin with to the direction of the nap. You need to make sure that everything is laid out the same way on the nap. And because you have to do that, you're going to need extra fabric beyond what the pattern calls for. So tip number 2, be aware of the nap when you're cutting your pattern. My next tip, if you are working with velvet, has to do with pressing your fabric. So because it has a pile, you don't want to press it with the iron and nothing protecting it, because it'll end up looking like this crushed velvet here and it'll have that pattern on it. So if you're looking for a smooth look, what you need to do instead is you need to take either scrap pieces of velvet, or you need to take like a terry cloth towel and put that over the ironing board. That way the pile kind of has some pile to sink into, and that keeps it from getting crushed. You also want to use steam on your iron and kind of hover it. Don't put the whole weight of the iron onto your whatever you're pressing on your velvet. So that's tip number 3. Be really careful when you're pressing your velvet so that you don't end up with unintended crushed velvet. The next thing is when you are sewing velvet together, and this is again because of the pile. You can see how when I had it folded with the 2 pile sides together, how it's kind of locking up into each other. So velvet fabric will do that as well when you're sewing. So you've pinned the 2 velvet sides together, you've got your seam, and then as you're in the sewing machine and it's getting pulled through the feed dog, it'll creep. And one side of the fabric will kind of like, it works kind of like cogs of a wheel, that they will creep and get misaligned. And you don't want that on your seams because then you get to the bottom of the hem and one side is longer than the other and the seams aren't lining up, or your waistline isn't lining up, or your seam just looks all raggedy and puckered on one side. It's because of the fabric creeping. So there's a few things you can do about this. Number 1, and kind of the easiest thing to do, is to put your pins in parallel to the selvage. Use lots of them, use them on the seam line. And this kind of acts like pin basting so that your pins are holding the 2 fabrics together and keeping them from creeping. You want the head of the pin to be facing away from the needle so that you can pull these as you get to each needle. Another thing you can do is hand baste the seam with a running stitch and a single piece of thread. You want to make kind of big stitches just like you would with using a straight pin so that you don't have a lot of places where you're poking through the velvet, because the more you do that, the more likely you are to damage the pile. Finally, if you have a walking foot, that can be really helpful with keeping the fabric from creeping. So because the feed dogs are pulling the fabric on the bottom side and the walking foot is kind of walking the fabric on the top side, it keeps that pile from creeping along where one side creeps away from the other. If you do not know how to use your walking foot, I've got a link here that shows how to use a walking foot and why you might want one if you don't have one. There's more uses for it besides velvet. And that is tip number 4. Make sure that you keep your velvet from creeping while you're sewing it. Finally, when you are choosing your pattern, you want to think about, does it require top stitching? And if it does, are there ways to eliminate the top stitching? Because you do not want top stitching on velvet. Top stitching is the enemy of velvet because it will create a very visible, very obvious line that's just not cute. And that obvious visible top stitching is generally one of the things that's going to differentiate between something that was cheaply and quickly made and something that's more like couture, that has time spent on it. And if you're using velvet for formal wear, you want it to be something that you're going to wear again. So everything that I've got displayed here and the dress that I'm wearing, these all have hand finishes on them. So this one here, the bodice is fully lined so that I didn't have to top stitch. You can see understitching on my lining here, and that helps keep the facing and the lining from rolling out, but that finishes that neckline without me having to top stitch anything. On the sleeves and on the neckline of this, on all the raw edges of this wrap dress here, on the hem and side slits that you can't see on this dress here, that's all hand stitching on these garments. The only other thing that you can do to kind of hide stitching is you can sort of see on my sleeves here, I have like a stretch velvet band, and these are secured by stitching in the ditch, so the stitching is hidden there in between, so it doesn't look like top stitching. So you can see from these samples that I'm showing here what top stitching looks like, and in my opinion, it just does not look good. If you're going to take the time to sew velvet, you want to take the time to finish it nicely. You can use your machine blind stitch. It's not the worst option. I do think a hand sewn blind stitch does look a little bit better though. So that is tip number 5. Be prepared to spend some time on hand sewing and hand stitching to make sure that your velvet garment looks impeccable. And check out this playlist for more tips and tricks for working with different kinds of tricky fabrics like velvet.